What is going on, guys? Welcome to the first ever Lifecast Extra, which is where we're going to just talk about all the kind of whatever we want. Just kind of a pre-show or post-show. We might have a pre-show someday, but post-show first of all. So to switch our minds, Kayla, from 1917 to a completely different genre, which is made for kids, which is Disney.
Yes.
I think let's first talk about Frozen 2, because that movie's been out. I think it received pretty good ratings overall.
I think so.
Um,
What I've actually heard is mixed opinions on Frozen 2.
I'm one of those mixed. 91% liked this movie according to Google.
77% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. It's got a 4.4 overall rating. So, I'll just get this out of the way. I did like the film. It kept me interested. This was long ago that I saw this, so I'm kind of basing it off of what I remember.
Yeah.
But I do remember the music being very good. I don't know. The music was spot on, I think.
That's one thing we'll actually agree on is the music was amazing in this movie. I enjoyed all the songs, like listening to all of them, and yeah. Okay, you have to agree.
Olaf's song was really good. I loved it. I really did. That was a favorite for me. Definitely a favorite part right there.
It was the comic relief that the movie needed.
Yep. What the movie definitely didn't need, though, was all that cheesy dialogue and touchy between Anna and Elsa. It's like, Gal, you're hitting me over the head with this millions of times. And they never explained why Elsa had to do this herself. I'm still lost at why that had to be a thing. Like,
Okay.
oh.
Okay, I will agree with you on actually both of those points.
It's like, oh my goodness, you don't have to do this yourself. Yes, I do. Let's shove you away. No, like you gotta explain why.
Right. Exactly.
Like, get me to something other than because the script says so. You need to give me a reason in story why. I listened to a podcast and they used the phrase, I was taken out of it. I know what that means now because whenever scenes like that happened, and there were several just scattered throughout the whole entire thing, it's like I was just taken out of the movie. And I'm like, yep, I'm sitting in a theater watching a Disney movie.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest complaint.
Yeah, there were some moments that were like very cheesy.
Unnecessary.
Especially on Anna's part, like not necessarily.
Yes, I would agree with that. It was more like Anna. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would agree with you on that. But I actually really enjoyed the movie. I don't know whether that's because I'm a Disney fanatic or if that's because it was like an actually good movie that I enjoyed.
No, I think it was a good movie. It just had too many cheesy moments for me to say, yeah, it's right up there with some of the tops.
Okay, I can agree with you on that.
But overall, it's a pretty good, highly rated film.
Yeah, it was like when I watched it, like I swear, if they make a Frozen 3, I'm gonna get mad. But
They gave closure, which was nice, so they shouldn't make a 3.
no, they shot down a lot of theories that people had as well of like Elsa being related to Rapunzel and like all of those.
Yeah, that's very true too. So yeah, that movie overall, it was okay. It was pretty good. But Toy Story 4 is actually what I'm interested to hear your thoughts on.
Give your opinion first, because
I was maybe it's because I've been connected to these characters since I was 2. But the end of Toy Story 4 where Woody and Buzz are no longer going to be together
Ah!
just had me. I was like, what? You know?
No. Yeah, I had that same feeling. Like, after watching, okay, and I watched it literally yesterday for the first time, so it's pretty fresh in my mind. But I at the very end of the movie, when like when Woody was originally gonna go back to Bonnie, but then Buzz was like, "No, go with Bo Peep." I started tearing up because I was like, "Oh my word!"
Part of me just wanted to say, why don't you just all go together? Like, I wanted that happy ending, but I never got it. And the way they took it was great. I loved it, but just the thought of
Yeah.
Woody and Buzz not being together was the fact that got me.
Yes, I that okay, and especially like watching. So like you've watched them since you were like really little.
Oh, yeah, I was
Like
2, you know?
that. Yeah, for people that have watched them since the beginning, like it's like heart wrenching to see that like the two characters that have been together since the beginning are not going to be together anymore.
But it's a good way, which is the weird. Like, it's heart-wrenching in a good way.
Yeah, I agree.
What do you think of the Bensons, like the creepy dolls? I mean, it added even that girl was creepy to me.
Yes, like at
Like,
the
she's a doll and she's just creepy to me for some dumb reason. I got eerie vibes from her the instant I saw her. I was like, oh,
right.
no good.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Like from the beginning, I was like, okay, what is happening? This is really weird. But then like towards the end, after it was revealed like what she actually really wanted, then I was like, oh, she's just a toy that needs love, basically.
I started to understand that when I first saw her, she was like with that Benson character, and it was creepy. And then I saw her, and then she started talking about, oh, I want to be loved, but my voice box is broken. The instant she said her voice box was broken, I was like, oh crap, here we go. This is where we're gonna get the epitome of this story. Like the peak is the whole story is just gonna revolve around this idea, and it kind of
And
did.
yeah, and that's what it ended up revolving around.
Yeah. Another thing I liked about that movie was the aspect of she made this spork into something, and this spork's like, I'm trash, so let me go to the trash. I really liked that. I don't know, that just seemed really well written to me. Like, I wouldn't have thought of that, but that's a really good and interesting idea that I liked that they added.
Yeah, like all the toys are like, no, I'm made for a kid. I'm like, this is my like what I'm supposed to be doing. But then he's like, nope, I'm trash. Get me back in the trash. That's where I want to be.
And it was kind of comic relief too. Like,
Yeah. 'Cause
so
the whole until he starts talking to Woody on like the road, that whole time he's like, yeah, that
trash.
whole part was funny.
Yeah. So it had overall it was a good movie. It was obviously animated really well. Everything I just as overall I rated it above Frozen 2. Maybe that's just me.
Well, okay. Even I do love Frozen, but I will say Toy Story 4. Well, one is Pixar, so Pixar just does everything really good. And two, I will say it was a little bit better than Frozen 2. I will agree with that.
Well, doesn't Disney own Pixar?
Well,
Because
yeah,
I mean, on Disney Plus, there's
Disney
this Pixar setting. So
Yeah, it's Disney Pixar, so it's like a Disney brand, but it's like a different type of movie, I guess.
yeah, I mean, Pixar's still kind of a company, but Disney owns it, right?
Right. I think Pixar is kind of like its own company to a certain extent.
Disney
but
is a monopoly. Let's just point that out.
True
Disney is a
that.
monopoly. They own Star Wars. They own Marvel. Oof.
They
They
bought out
are.
some Fox for Disney Plus, so there's that.
They bought Fox too. That's true.
Not
They-
not all of Fox, but just like
But-
some.
Yeah, and Disney also owns parts of Hulu too.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Disney's all over. Speaking of Disney, their remakes. I want you to give your thoughts on your remakes because me and you disagree on this point a ton.
Yeah, we do. We found that out the other day. So I actually really enjoy the remakes. Like the ones they've done at least. Cause I was like looking the other night at like what remakes are coming up, and apparently they're remaking Lilo and Stitch, which
I haven't seen that one.
no, it's like in the works yet. Which I don't think they need to remake that. But they did like Maleficent and now they did like Lion King, which is the most no, not the most recent. Lady and the Tramp, I think, is the most recent. I think. Yeah. Anyway, I actually really enjoy the like the remakes or the live action or whatever, or at least the ones they've done. So.
Well, I mean, I can see where they're coming from in this. You get new technology compared to 1994 when you didn't have it. You didn't have all this animation style, all this stuff that you can do with, the movie industry now. They didn't have that back then. So to make a live version of it is kind of like a, haha, we got money, here you go, let's do it kind of thing. A little bit of a flex, it seems like. But I've watched one, and I was never pumped about the idea anyway, but the one I watched was Aladdin. I'm probably going to watch The Lion King simply because. But my thoughts on Aladdin specifically were the story was just the first. Okay, let's start right at the beginning. The beginning song was terrible. I don't know what they did to slow down, speed up the song with his dancing and his moving. It didn't work. It was awful.
Like one jump? Are you talking like
the one jump ahead of the bread line? That one. It was terrible. I'm not even gonna try to sugarcoat it. It was bad.
Okay, yes and no, because they kept the song, a lot of the same, which was nice because it was like it went back to the original. Then it like showed like kind of the original, but I will say the editing of it. When you listen to the audio, it's fine.
Right.
But rewatching it again and paying attention to like the actual editing of the movie, I will say that was.
It was terrible. I'm not talking about the singing. Obviously, the singing in the whole movie was fine. But that first sequence where he was like the film would speed up, then would slow down, and the music was fast, and it didn't work for me.
No,
at all. And I was like, if the whole movie's like this, I'm not going to be able to finish this because this is just bad.
No, that's the only song that's like that. Which
right, yes.
And like I've seen it twice now. And that, rewatching that, actually after my sister told me that that happened, I looked at that and I was like, they could have edited it so much better than what they did.
Yeah, that's just the first thing that struck me. The second thing was Jafar was not. I don't think Jafar was casted right at all. I mean, if you look at Jafar in the originals, he's this creepy, elderly man, and in this new Aladdin show, he's 20, 30, and this handsome, striking man.
Right, he's attractive.
I don't know. That didn't work for me. I can see in the regards of him wanting to marry the... Did they even point that out? In the original, Jafar wanted to marry...
Jafar wanted to be Sultan, and so in order to do that, he was going to marry Jasmine.
Yeah. Did they even point that out in the remake? I don't even think that was pointed out.
Nope.
Because then I could understand why you would do it. Because if you wanted... You don't want this 50-year-old man to... go and try to marry this 30-year-old woman. Like, I get that. If they had done that scene, I would have understood. But that scene was not there. They didn't tell you that Jafar wanted to marry Jasmine. What is Jacqueline from? Anyway, that wasn't in there. So that's why I think Jafar was not casted right.
Yeah, okay. I can see that, and Yeah. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something, and now I forgot. I was gonna say.
The
Okay.
genie. The genie
What?
by who plays the genie?
Oh, Will Smith.
Will Smith. He does well. I'll give him credit for what he was given. He did well.
And because here's the thing, is because Robin Williams, they literally made the genie role for Robin Williams in the original, and so trying to live up to that, I think he did an amazing job of trying to
Yeah.
live up to it.
Robin Williams is the greatest genie, let's be honest. My third beef is where they took the story. Not that I could so in the end of the story, Genie gets set free, and then he has no powers, which therefore makes the second and third movies of Aladdin not exist.
Okay, but was Disney ever going to remake those? Because if
I would hope not.
I was going to say, if Disney's not going to remake them, then why do you need that?
I don't know, but because Aladdin was my favorite Disney movie as a kid, and the fact that a genie can be set free and still have his powers is awesome to me, and so they took that away in this remake, and I don't know, it just kind of upset me. It's a personal issue, but still, I think they should have semi-stuck to the original as close as they could.
Yeah, and it actually, okay, don't get me wrong, I loved Aladdin, but there was one thing that I have a little bit of a problem with, is the fact that they made Jasmine into, a feminist character.
What do you mean? And,
So,
woman rights, woo, woman,
yeah,
that type of thing?
Yeah,
I heard
so,
that's what they're doing with Mulan, too, so you can brace yourself for that. She had that whole, what's that song? I will not be unspoken or something?
Oh, yeah, Speechless?
Yeah, that's a good song. I will give credit for that being in there and being a decent song, but you're right. She was a very feminine woman's rights kind of, which at first that didn't hit me as it wasn't hitting me over the head with it, so I was okay with it. But I get a problem when they're just whamming you on the head women's rights, women's rights, women's rights, you know? I get that there's a problem. You don't have to tell me 15 million times kind of thing.
True. No, I actually, I have the piano music for the song, and I love the song. But my thing is that, with that, they didn't really stick to the original. In the original, it's they're trying to marry her off because that's how the royal line is going to stay, how this kingdom is going to keep going. And they kind of hit on that, but that was more of, what made the storyline of Aladdin, the original, I think, better because, that's how, that's why Aladdin ended up marrying Jasmine in the end, is because, Jasmine doesn't want to abide by the rules. She wants to marry for true love. And that was kind of...
Lost.
Yeah, that was lost in the...
I think they're kind of assuming that you've seen the original Aladdin when you've seen this. I feel like they assumed some things, that you were supposed to know some things and not just have watched this remake of it. That's kind of I think that they're assuming that most people that are watching this live Aladdin have seen the original.
Yeah, I could see where, yeah.
So some other remakes they've done are The Lion King, Lady and the Tramp, I believe. If that's not out, that's coming out. Mulan.
No, it's out. It's on Disney+.
Mulan is coming out. Dumbo, which is a newer release.
Mm-hmm. I think Dumbo actually happened, I think it was released about the time, it was a little after The Lion King was released, I think.
Yeah, March 29.
Yeah.
2019.
I've never actually seen I haven't watched the remake of Dumbo.
I have no motivation to. I heard they're remaking Little Mermaid, and I was kind of okay.
Yeah, I saw that. And I don't think they need to remake Little Mermaid.
I don't think a lot of these needed to be remade. I've heard a lot about the Beauty and the Beast being really good.
Yes.
That was one of the original ones that they actually started to remake.
Mhm. Yes.
And I was actually okay with Beauty. I've never seen it, but I was like, at that time, I was okay with it because I was like, okay, whatever. You can
Oh,
redo it. But now they started just pumping them out and puking them out like constantly. They've just got this constant flow of we're gonna release this, then we're gonna release this, then we're gonna release this.
yeah. They're not coming up with a lot of like original ideas. I will give.
Yeah, but I don't know. If that's your thing, you can. I'm not gonna judge you for it, but it's not my thing.
Okay, in my opinion though, going back to like the Beauty and the Beast. Okay, the first one actually, the first remake that was released was Cinderella.
Oh
And that,
yeah. I see that here.
and then yeah, that was actually very well done. That was
2015, and
yeah.
wow, I didn't even realize that. Okay.
Yeah, that was actually I enjoyed that one. I actually went to that in the theaters with my mom. And that one I actually enjoyed. It stuck to the storyline but also made it its own, and it was very well done, I think.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, so I can't really judge it. But yeah, so another ones they're making are The Jungle Book is made, I
They
believe.
Yeah, The Jungle Book, that one I haven't seen that one in a while, but that one I don't know if they needed to remake that one.
Yeah, there's just if you want to look up all of them, just look them up. There's a lot of remakes that
Yeah.
they've done. Um,
Yeah, I've seen. Let me think. I've seen the remake of Lady and the Tramp. I've seen the Beauty and the Beast remake. Which, if you haven't seen it, go watch because that one, I would say actually tops Cinderella, the remake of Cinderella, because that one, again, was like they added a couple songs. Like the Beast gets his own solo in that one. Um, but that was actually the remake of Beauty and the Beast was very well done. So,
I'll take your word for it.
yeah, go watch it. It's very good.
All right, well, that's going to wrap up this episode of a Lifecast Extra. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe to the Lord Valor channel. We'll see you next time.